those as exhibits 31 through 34. We're just going to play clips of each, and I want you to tell us what we're seeing.
Okay.
And this is at 1:15 a.m.
Right, this is traffic on Ingle Street where you can see to the north up to and beyond 16th Street and south to Colfax. The noise from the cars playing their music overly loud, which a lot of people tend to do. And people walking up and down the street yelling and being noisy.
Well, how do you know that those people are coming from Jumbo's?
I can see them walking out of the parking lot and see them pulling into and out of the parking lot at Jumbo's.
So you're close enough that you can see all this happen?
Yes.
Is this a frequent occurrence?
Yes.
And this is the same night, 1:15 a.m. or so?
Right.
And you're just seeing people coming and going?
Coming and going, the loud language, the, I'll say somewhat obscene language, although my husband has gotten extremely upset with them and yelled some of the same obscenities.
So there's been conflict between
There has been
your
conflict,
household
yes.
and patrons of the establishment?
Yes.
So this recording just shows more people leaving from the
Yes.
establishment. Move on to exhibit 33, which should be essentially the same.
Yes, this is from the end of my driveway. My driveway is essentially right across the street from the Cedars Healthcare driveway.
These are individuals from the bar that we can hear.
Yes. Either coming from or going to.
Okay. Move on to exhibit 34 just to keep things moving. This is from the same night, April 1st at approximately 1:15 in the morning.
Right, and this is from my porch again. I had moved back up to my porch because I didn't want further conflict and for the safety of my own property. In this particular part, they've actually calmed down a little bit.
But you're still just recording the
I'm still just recording the area.
Move on from that. We're going to go to exhibit 35. This is from April 2nd. Can you tell us why you're recording this one?
This is just after about 2:20 in the morning. And again, it was my understanding that bars were to stop serving between 1:30 and 2 and close their doors by 2 o'clock. And this is a continual scene up and down Ingle Street while they're open.
People are there beyond, this is at 2:20 a.m., so they're
Right.
beyond, okay. Is this noise of the patrons leaving the establishment, is this disturbing to you?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to play one last clip. This is exhibit 36.
It's 2:48 in the morning and I'm standing in my driveway across the street from Jumbo's Bar and Grill. This one was in front of my neighbor directly to the south's house.
And did someone come from the bar to turn that alarm off?
They came outside the bar to turn it off with their key fob, I'm assuming.
Okay.
But I didn't see anyone actually
Police
approach
car
the
just
car.
drove by.
That was confusing because
Yeah.
it was just speaking on
There's
the
two more across the street at Cedars now.
So on that one, someone had come across the.
At this point, someone had called for police to come because of excessive noise.
I want to talk to you now about an incident that occurred on April 29th, 2023 at around 2:35 in the morning.
Yes,
Do you remember calling police that night?
yes, I did.
Can you tell me what happened?
The bar was busy, people parking all over the place, blocking driveways, which is illegal.
What time was the bar busy?
This was about 2:30 in the morning,
Okay.
and people were still coming to the bar.
Okay. And did you have an interaction with somebody going to the bar?
Yes, I did. My husband had told someone that they could not park in front of our driveway, that it was illegal, and he refused to move. And since I had been verbally attacked and threatened by a previous patron from the bar, telling me that I would have my ass beat, sorry for the language, if I stepped off my property, I have started going out when there's issues carrying a baseball bat.
So you're holding a baseball bat, and did you speak to the person whose car was blocking your driveway?
Yes, I did. I says, you can't park in the driveway, get out of my driveway.
What was that person's response?
He turned around, parked, and him and his companion got out of the car, came towards me with his hand held out like this, saying, I'll shoot you. You don't bring a baseball bat to a gunfight.
Okay. So did you see that person go to Jumbo's?
Yes, I watched them go directly to Jumbo's.
Walk in the front door?
Yep,
2:35 a.m.?
yes.
Is it your experience living near this bar that people frequently are going into the establishment past 2 a.m.?
Yes.
Is that predominantly on the weekends, or what can you say about that?
It's predominantly Friday and Saturday nights from what I can tell. And the reason I know this is I have been up because I work until 11:30 at night on every night, Tuesday through Saturday. I am up, I don't go to bed till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm hearing the noise outside.
And you look outside and you see that it's
I
still
look
open?
outside and see what's going on, and I see these disturbances.
And so it's a common occurrence?
It's a common occurrence.
Okay. No further questions. All right. Ms. Howard?
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
How would you describe me in handling situations when you reach out to me?
For the most part, I started conversation with you via Facebook Messenger on January 9th of 2022. And yes, my first post was rude. I admit to that. Because the noise was after 10 p.m. and there is a noise ordinance in Lakewood that can't go, if I read right, can't go beyond 25 feet of your property, of which the parking lot
Excuse
is.
me, I'm sorry.
is part
I
of
had to
it.
ask you,
I'm
I'm
answering your
gonna ask
question.
you about.
Your Honor, the witness needs to be able to finish her answer.
The question was, I believe, how did she judge Ms. Howard's reaction to their conversation?
And she's answering that.
If you go ahead
I'm
and answer.
explaining my answer, thank you. For the most part, until, probably middle of, March of this year, address patrons in the parking lot when it was requested, up to a point.
Up until you said March of 27,
Um,
2023.
March of 2023, yes. And I have all of our conversations printed out.
Yes. So, in some of the conversations, you will, call me, and I will go outside, and you would say it was loud music, and I go
Right.
out, and I go outside, or you say, when I go outside, does my response be, it's not here, it's at the liquor store?
That was one response, yes.
Okay, so, okay, another question. If someone threatened you, why didn't you reach out to me?
Because it wasn't on your property at that point. If it had been me approaching the property at Jumbo's and someone threatened me from the parking lot, then I would have said something to you. At the point that it was where I was threatened, they were on the street outside of my house, my property, threatening me. Then, after that threat, they went to your establishment.
And you didn't feel the need to reach out to me, hey, Tanisha, someone just came in your building, they just threatened me, so I
But-
can address it?
I couldn't give you an accurate description of
So-
who it was.
Okay,
I just knew it was an African-American gentleman with a blonde-haired white female.
okay, so, why didn't you press charges on the individual who threatened you?
Because I figured with getting with the police, and me not knowing this person's name or anything else, I just wanted them to be aware that there was an issue here.
But you had the license plate.
I did not have the license plate. I did not leave my property. The police did have the license plate. At that point, I wanted to let it go. I didn't want it to escalate any further than it already had.
Okay, so is it fair to say that I'm a reasonable person if you come and talk to me and very understanding in workout situations?
For the most part, yes, you are.
Did you say your husband, approached the car?
No, he didn't.
No one ever
No,
did?
it was all from our porch and our driveway.
Okay. So, you being a member of, the neighborhood association?
I have lived in the neighborhood for 12 years.
Did you ever express to the other neighbors, let's reach out to Tanisha Howard and try to work out something, because she's very reasonable and understanding individual?
At that point, I was not, conversant with a lot of my neighbors because of the hours I work. I have worked swing shift for all of my time in this neighborhood.
So is it fair to say that at a certain point, you didn't care to reach out to me because you got, with the cops to say, no, let's shut her down, opposed to trying to work things out?
No, because I had previously tried to work things out with you, and let me reference one of my messages. October 22nd of 2022, which after this I did still try to work with you. Someone, I don't know if it was you or someone else monitoring your messenger. My comment was, unless the volume gets and stays lower, I'm going to have to file a complaint with the city. I have tried to be tolerant, but when crap goes on over there until 6 a.m., it's a bit much.
Okay, so.
That was my comment to you. Please let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
The response I got was, sorry ma'am, we close at 2 and no one is really here at the moment. You were messaging me like we have a building full of people and the music is loud outside. It's a sports bar and you already made it clear you don't want us here. It's getting bothering. You were texting me at 11 p.m. and it's quiet outside. Every time someone pulls up to the liquor store with their music blasting, do you message the liquor? No, you do not. I'm starting to feel like you're harassing me, like you don't live next to a sports bar. You call the cops, they come and don't hear anything. unless the door opens when people leave, and that's normal. I've been trying my best to satisfy you, but I see you will not be satisfied until we close for business. So at this point, any complaints, go ahead and forward to the city, because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yes. Okay. So, so
I have,
when we first met, explain to me when we first met and I, talked to you politely, which I'm always talking to you politely, right? Okay. So, and I told you to come over, meet me.
and I did.
And then you said you colored people. What did you mean by you colored people? Why would you even state you colored people?
I believe my reference was, and I'm not positive on this, but I believe my reference was black people or people of color. And at that point, Mr. Howard objected to my use of those two terms. So I says, okay, what would you like to be called? And he said African American. I says, okay, I have no problem with that. You're people.
So
Race is not involved here.
So you describe black people as colored people.
There are black people.
No.
Let me answer your question. There are black people, Vietnamese people, Indians, whatever. To me, you're people.
But you specifically said colored people.
At that point, yes, I did. But I don't remember exactly what the reference was when we started talking.
Okay.
I didn't record that.
No further questions.
Mr. Check?
I think they're determining whether they have more questions. I heard no further questions, but I think the gentleman sitting with her might be advising her of additional questions.
Ms. Howard, do you have any further questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. How do you determine, when it's past a certain time, before the certain time of liquor store closed, that it's Jumbo's and not the liquor store? How do you determine that?
Specifically?
In the music, it's like.
Specifically?
Yes.
If I can stand on my front porch and I can hear continual hour upon hour of music, that's not the liquor store.
Well, you just stated that it's on and off, so.
At certain points, it raises, it lowers, it raises, it lowers.
And
I can tell when a car comes up to the liquor store, blasts their music, they go in to buy whatever they're buying, they come back out, they leave.
the car that was burning rubber,
Mhm.
how did you determine it was from Jumbo's Sports Bar and Grill?
I said it was at the Sports Bar and Grill. I don't know that it was patrons of yours, but it was in front of the bar.
So every time you speak on that line, you always say Jumbo's, right? You never say Champion Liquors and Jumbo's. You always say Jumbo's, right?
Prior to your opening, we didn't have issues like this at that establishment. There was no one in that establishment. There was just Champion Liquor.
And can you state that Champion Liquors business wasn't doing good until Jumbo Sports Bar and Grill came, so they had started getting more business?
I don't know because I don't know, I'm not there all the time. I don't know how many people go in there and come out.
One last question. So you know you live off of Colfax, on corner Colfax, which is a lot of,
I live half a block north of Colfax, yes.
right on Colfax, right off Colfax. So how do you know it's not cars driving down the street, blasting their music, running, how can you distinguish every music and loud music and disturbance is jumbos where you have homeless, you have drug dealers, you have, drug addicts, right on that corner. How do you always, how do you distinguish it's actually Jumbo Sports Bar and Grill?
Because we don't have the noise volume when you are not open.
So it's, okay. Okay, so I have another question. So before we moved over there, it was, from, you lived across the street.
Yeah.
The whole place was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that we cleaned it up, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Can you say that we ran the drug dealers off that was on the corner by the liquor store selling drugs? We ran them off, right?
I'm
you
assuming
don't see them
so.
no more, right?
I don't see them, I didn't see them before
You,
because of where I'm at.
okay. So did you see a lot of people ODing over there on the corner in that area?
I saw one, and I stopped to see if I could help that person.
Okay, so it was a lot. So
No, that's not a
do
lot.
you feel?
One person
No, no,
in
no.
12 years.
No, that's what you seen, but
That's what I
get
see.
the report.
One person in 12 years.
Okay, but another question. Can you say that besides the loud music, that Jumbo's Sports Bar and Grill has cleaned up that area and trying to bring it up? It's, I'm not talking about the music or anything like that. I'm just saying, as in the community, can you say that Jumbo Sports Bar and Grill came and cleaned up the whole area, got rid of homeless, got rid of the drug dealers, and in that area? Can you say-
From what I've seen, yes, you have cleaned up the parking lot, the area,
All right, thank you.
other than blocking off the egress at the back of the building, and I understand that was due to possible homelessness that are staying there. But it also presents a hazard because people can't leave the property that way. If they were to need to, if there was an emergency, people could not leave the area that way. So, but yes, otherwise, yes, you've cleaned up the area, but that's not what this is about. This is about the liquor violations, the
Okay.
noise violations, the next to a
I didn't
Sears
ask you-
healthcare center.
Jack, I didn't like ask you any.
Let her go ahead and answer.
Okay.
This is, this is not about what you've done for the property. This is about the violations that have happened there. The noise violations. The staying after hours violations. The next to a healthcare center where there's a noise ordinance issue. There's supposed to be a quiet zone. It's not quiet at Jumbo's when you're open. There, you can't be loud after 10 o'clock at night in a residential neighborhood, and you are. Every night you're open, you guys are loud after 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
People
You
need
just-
their sleep. It's messing with the health and welfare of the community.
Why you keep letting her talk and I didn't ask the
She
question?
was answering the question. I'd like her to complete her answer.
I'm completed now, thank you.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, so you're saying that, how many years have you lived there?
12.
12 years, and on the 12 years you lived there, there has not been any incidents, no, troubleshootings, nothing over in that area, period?
Not on our
12
street,
years,
no.
Okay.
Not until this year.
Not until this year? Okay. Okay, no further questions.
Mr. Shank?
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, nothing further, thank you.
Ms. Howard, do you have anything further?
I'll let the keep it for a minute. I mean, she should
Take your
get it.
time.
I'm planning on staying. So may I return to my seat for now?
Yes.
Okay, next question. Our next witness.
City calls Roberta Garrett to the stand.
Is swear that the testimony you are about to give before this authority is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name, spell your name, and state your address.
My name is Roberta Garrett, and it's spelled R-O-B-E-R-T-A. Last name's Garrett, G-A-R-R-E-T-T. And my address is 1570 Ingalls Street.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Garrett. We're here talking about jumbos, as you're well aware. You live nearby,
I do, just a few hundred yards.
a couple hundred yards away.
Mhm.
Has the operation of this bar negatively impacted your ability to quietly enjoy your property?
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so we started noticing noise probably in the fall of 2021. We keep our windows closed most of the time, but towards the spring, we started noticing more noise. We started noticing more trash in the street. And we notice the trash because we clean up the street before we go to bed. That's just what we've always done. And in the morning, we would wake up, especially after parties, and there would be trash in the street that we'd have to clean up. For a long time, we ignored it. We just lived our lives. And then there came a time, early this spring, we just couldn't ignore it anymore.
What was going on this spring where you couldn't ignore it?
Well, a lot of people parking their cars along the street, up and down the street. There isn't adequate parking at that business for the parties, the size of the parties that they want to host. So they're parking all the way up and down the street. We're seeing a lot of just cars almost double stacking across the street. And I couldn't even tell you how far up Ingalls that they go.
So it's primarily a kind of a noise issue